All right. So you wrote a great piece called The Invisible Price Tag of Yesterday's Regulation. And I'll just read a little bit from it. Early 20th century regulation was built for a capital intensive, centralized grid designed for universal service and exploiting economies of scale and scope. Three outdated regulatory assumptions now hinder innovation. So this is where kind of we're getting into like where it doesn't quite fit. So whether or not it was right for the time, we could talk for infinite amounts of time about that. But I think it would be inarguable that like it at least did what it needed to do in the sense that we were electrified. But now we're in an era where this like the utility business model of spend a dollar, earn 10% or 12% or whatever it is, this what you call embedded asset bias, that there is a bias to
Mhm.
spend more. Again, in the early days, really useful because you needed a
Yeah.
whole lot of capital spending and you needed to raise that capital. Now we're in an era where like with all the data center conversations, there's certainly a whole lot of money being spent. But I think there is this question that is being begged. I'm begging people to ask this question. We have seen competition, I believe. Certainly, we're all products of our experience and our environments. And working within Texas for the last 20 years, I have seen firsthand how competition, certainly in wholesale, has worked really well. Retail, I think it's a little bit more of a mixed bag, though we are seeing a lot of innovation, the Base Powers and the Octopuses and the David Energies and all these companies that are even like NRG, like the big like
Yep.
legacy of Houston Light and Power when it was split up and then became Reliant, like they're doing virtual power plants and offering customers different kinds of rate products for. So you're seeing this innovation in the retail. And I think there's this important question here as to what functions within the regulated model. And I'm speaking about Texas. We have monopoly transmission distribution utilities. Are there functions that they have that might make sense to actually have some form of competition, even if it's some kind of regulated, simulated competition, but something to have a price discovery as to whether or not the
Mhm.
dollar the utility is going to spend is the most efficient dollar. And I know this is something you've thought about a lot and
Yeah.
written about a lot. So let's talk about that a little bit.
And I'm glad you used the phrase price discovery because I think that is the linchpin for all of this. A lot of people are like, well, why markets? When we had it everything vertically integrated, it was easy. This all with unbundling and markets and having to worry about resource adequacy and accreditation. And this is all very complicated. Why? And the linchpin is price discovery.